Hello there. So previously I spoke about the unique power of women. But I do believe if the women were all to come out and say we all want these things, the men would enforce it, and they would find themselves to agree with it. Why? Because men actually want women. So that's just the reality of it. Today I want to get into the good. The good being actually really hard, and how we've been fooled in society to thinking good is just some easy thing we all more or less just do. I'm Andrew Levy, and this is The American Dream. The question is, what is good? Are you just good because you're not committing all the crimes and ending up in prison? What does it really mean to be good? I would say it really means to be good that you're giving yourself over to serving the good, which I would say is synonymous with God. You have to serve God with what you do from within you. And if all what you're doing is to serve yourself, no matter how good it may be, if it's about you, it's not really good because it's not really for serving God. That's what it comes down to. It's not serving its purpose. Everything has a purpose to serve. And if you're not serving your purpose, then what you're doing is really for nothing. So how can you, what you're really saying is, if you're saying I am good, but I don't believe in everything I'm doing to be serving God, or on a regular basis what I'm doing is serving God, if you can intellectually tell yourself that you should not be serving God, you don't care about God, you're an atheist or whatever it may be, and you're saying simultaneously you're good, what you're saying is you're serving everything for nothing. That's what that comes down to. So ultimately you're not serving the good, which would be God, you're serving the nothing for nothing. That's what it comes down to. So when we're saying something is actually good, that means what you're really saying is you're serving God. So the question is, why is serving God hard? That's what it comes down to. To be good is hard. And if being good is to be serving God, then why is serving God hard? Should it be hard? Does it make sense to be hard? At the end of the day, things are what they are. And the reason I would say that it's hard to serve God is because we as individuals, as humans, we have our natures to want to just satisfy ourselves. And this thing is an impossible thing to do. It is impossible to satisfy yourself. A lot of people, when speaking about relationships and different things, what they speak about looking for is the person in their life to satisfy themselves. I believe that if you want a good relationship, you want a relationship where you will be satisfied, you have to find somebody who wants to serve God, to try satisfying God to the same extent you do. And you're on the same page with this. Then from being on the same page with this, both of you giving everything over you can to God together, raising a family to do that, that's where you actually get to doing good. But if you're all about yourself and pleasing you, that person you're in a relationship with has to satisfy you. You have to satisfy them. None of you are actually looking to satisfy anything else. And you actually think this can actually work for a long-term relationship. This it won't, because at the end of the day, you yourselves as individuals don't serve anything but yourselves, which ultimately is serving nothing. Everything on this planet, on its own merit, without God, serves nothing. So there has to be something that you actually have to serve outside of this planet to have you matter, to have anything you do matter for anything. And if all you matter for is other people, then, and all those people don't matter, then it's all for nothing. That's the bottom line here. So serving God is hard because you want to do all these things that naturally you don't really want to be tied down to a woman and married. You want to actually be able to hook up with whoever you want. But if you're more important to yourself than you make God to be for you, that could be a thing that actually you will have a drive to do more. But if God becomes more important to you than yourself on some level or another, there has to be some value of God within you, I think, to actually care about this thing. There has to be some idea of a good. When a lot of people, they speak about the good, I think there is an idea out there in the ether that there's something out there that's greater than just the nature, just something that exists that's good, that you have to serve for whatever reason. This is something everyone believes, atheists or not. And that good, though, I think is attached to God. I don't think that good exists without God. unless you're going to say good is God, and then but that good thing is something different than God. But that's semantics of nonsense. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is you have all these things you want to do. If you're left to your own devices, you on your own don't have to actually serve a good that you believe in, and you're just going to exist to do what you feel like doing. You're going to want to do all these things that with the idea of good you would think is awful to do and horrible, stealing and killing and doing who knows what to people just because it doesn't matter, but you feel like doing it because that guy upsets you. That guy upsets you, you don't want people around you that upsets you, so you're just going to kill him. And without the idea of good, that doesn't matter. And this idea of good, you have to hold yourself back in life all the time. A lot of people, they would go off at people thinking this is a virtuous thing to do. My going off at this person is like the best thing because this person, well, they upset me. They bothered me. But here's the thing. When you're being bothered, when you're feeling frustrated with other people, in a sense, that's you playing God. That's you saying that you come before anything else and how dare this person do something that makes you feel bothered. But if you control yourself and think to yourself, this is all from God, and I'm going to just have to accept it and let it go and just work on being the best I can be for God, you have now become a better person for it. But if you go off at the person, you are not a better person, you are a worse person. You are a person that's self-serving. A person that's self-serving, no matter what's considered good or not, if it's all for yourself, none of it's actually good. You have to take yourself out of yourself and try doing things for the greater good, for God. And to detach yourself, what you naturally want, is a really, really hard thing to do. We've had all these things in society that we've been fooled to believe in common sense, and we just are all good for whatever reason. People would say most people are good. But if most people don't believe in giving themselves over and devoting themselves to God, all these things that are considered good are all to serve nothing. They end up being considered nothing. You're calling nothing good now. This doesn't actually make sense. To do things that are considered good may not be the hardest thing to do. But to give yourself over to serving God, which is really to be good, that's a hard thing to do. To tell yourself, I'm doing this because I believe in doing what is good for people. And I want to do this thing that's good for people because I believe this is what God wants me to do. And I'm doing it for God. And I'm trying to live my life to get closer to God. Because that's the good thing to do. Doing good is to serve God. I'd go to the Bible where it talks about God saying everything is good. Here, I created this and it was all good. That I created and it was all good. All the creations were all... God didn't say they were fantastic or they were the greatest or whatever. They said they were just good. And I would say that's because good is God. All the things that you're supposed to do, serving your purpose and everything for God is what's good. God created something. It's good. You're using it to serve God. It's all good. You don't need to go to the place of this is all the greatest and the best and and so unbelievable or whatever it is. You just need to get to a place where you're trying to serve God in order to do what's actually good, not do what's considered good, but actually ultimately serving nothing, which is to be nothing. That's what that comes down to. So next time I want to go over this list. It's called the feminist list, a list of things that women believe to be good that are actually not good because they're actually based on what we were just talking about, not serving the greater good. They're not serving a good, they're serving the stuff. But let's go over this list, what they are, and the ins and outs of why they would even think these things are good and what's really going on here. Like, subscribe, share, all the best, and thanks for watching.